Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hello guitar players and hello 3D printing community. You might have seen in some of my recent shots that I've been working on a pretty cool project, building my own Stratocaster using a 3D printer, and in this case the Bamboo Lab H2D. When it comes to the material choice, a regular PLA doesn't work for me due to low temperature resistance and the goal to play guitar hopefully for decades. Here you can see the internal infill structure which supports the core to handle string tension. So I decided to use industrial grade material such as carbon fiber reinforced nylon because musicians are used to play their instruments for lifetime. And the first print results turned out surprisingly well. Gluing wasn't an option because PA12 doesn't bond well with most adhesives. You can actually use a soldering iron to smooth out the seams and refine the surface. It's not super easy, but it works. Here you can see a bit of the welding seam line. Eventually, after sanding, I planned to paint the guitar in a glossy black finish. 3D printing opens so many cool possibilities that makes me wonder, can we keep pushing the boundaries with 3D printed instruments? Please let me know what you think and if you have ever played such an instrument. When it comes to additive manufacturing, the potential is huge, but hard to scale up business cases, for example engineering parts, medical applications or eyewear. One great example of success with 3D printed guitar is Professor Olaf Diegel, an expert in additive manufacturing who has designed some really awesome guitars like his steampunk model. And now looking at the new Herman Li signature model, you can clearly see more and more wild contours and forms being achieved with wood. That's cool stuff, and I'm a huge fan of what we call tonewoods. But does it truly make the tone, the wood? I mean, it's a religious fight amongst guitar players, so please answer for yourself. I think PRS pushes design limits by combining ergonomic design and a fresh aesthetic and feel to it. That kind of traditional woodworking is always inspiring, and I have loved watching that kind of content for years. Don't get me wrong, my goal is not to kill tradition, but I believe this guitar model addresses the need for new designs that can only be achieved through modern manufacturing. I'm a huge fan of Fender and Gibson and all the Les Paul and Stratocaster kind of guitars, and looking at their recent models like the expensive Relic or reissue guitars, they definitely have their place and their quality and their history, but it makes me wonder, is that where future is headed, to build everything out of expensive wood, for example? And Gibson, of course, stick to their classic roots. They kind of have to as traditional brand. That makes sense. But I believe we can still take things further. And PRS, for example, is showing how customization can play a big role, especially with signature models. Right at the moment, a lot of attention to detail is required to build such a great individual design. But I believe with the approach to modern technology, there is so much innovation out there, and just imagine what AI can do with an individual design, maybe in a matter of seconds. And this is truly great. I think not everyone will 3D print and design and manufacture their own guitar. In the end, you want to have a good quality product. Let's check it out together and let me know, would you kind of buy such an instrument made of completely new materials, and have you ever played such an instrument at all? I'm really curious to your experience, and let's see together how it will develop and what the future might look like of manufacturing a guitar.